number 11.
Yeah, when I
This was getting the standard form was the last question, number 12.
Oh, with number 11, like when I did the table, like when I went back and did the table and I like plotted the points, it was supposed to change, right? Like I don't know what I did wrong. Like it was the
I'm
same
going to
thing.
show you. This is why I'm going over this problem. Okay. So remember, we started off with f of x equaling 2x plus 3, right, times x minus 2. I would do one column just for that function. Now, one of the things to keep in mind right here, and I think this, Momar, is my guess where things went wrong. I bet you did a 2x plus 3 and you did an x minus 2 as two different columns, didn't you?
I can't remember.
You can't remember. I'll get back to you with some feedback tomorrow. But I would recommend doing just f of x. How can I get the outputs for f of x? So by substituting those x values in. That's one way. But yesterday I also gave you a graph, didn't I? That could have sped things up a lot, because can't you go to the graph for the correct input and figure out what the output is? Take advantage of that. So one note I might make to myself here is to get outputs for f of x, I would either substitute in x values, or use graph to get outputs. Now, obviously, if you don't have a graph, you can't do that. You would have to use the first one. But which one's quicker? Substituting in or just looking at a graph? The graph is much, much, much quicker. Okay. And so, you substitute that in, you get 15. Substitute that in, you get 4, 0, and you continue all the way down. Now, am I done? No. What else do I need to do?
X minus 2.
I got to dilate by x minus 2, so I need an x minus 2 so that at the end I have f of x dilated by x minus 2. And so then I'm just going to take my x values and subtract, so -5, -4, -3.5, and then I'm going to do my dilations. -75, -16, 0, so on and so forth. That's what I'm looking for when I ask you to accurately graph. And then you just graph the points that you can graph. What are your questions, comments, and concerns?
How do you get the output without with the graph only? You just like
With the graph only? So, I'm just making up a graph, but it's the same principle. Okay? So let's say that this is my graph. So if I were to ask you, what is f of 4? So remember, that's x equals 4, right? Well, then I'm just going to go to an x value of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go to that point. And I need the output. What's the output? 3. So that's what I would put. So when the x value is 4, I would put the y value of 3. That's how you can quickly use a graph to get all those different those values. If it's not a point on the graph, then you would have to substitute in. But you see how that can be way quicker than just substituting it in and simplifying it? So that's how you would do it. Alright. Last quick detail before we move to literacy for all. What I would remind you is x equals 2 was a double root. So should it go through that root?
No.
What's it going to do? It's going to touch it and then bounce back away. Those are things that I want to see that you understand, right? I don't know exactly what it would look like, but something like this. So use those graphs or those tables to help you accurately graph. Alright, we can get some more practice tomorrow. Tomorrow's our last day. If I were you, I would look through lessons 2, 3, and 4 so that you can come ready to ask questions. I'm going to have problems created to tackle all the different ideas from the understanding checks and from the lessons, but you probably need to look at the lessons to figure out what things you need to ask about tomorrow. Sound good? Understand those directions? Yes, Mr. Kenny. Thanks, Jake One. I appreciate it. Okay. So we did our slight review. We're going to look at literacy for all. It was supposed to be at least 45 minutes, but I felt like that review was more important. Don't remember what I did with my remote, so I'm not going to be able to use it. Oh, there it is. Okay. So let's look at literacy for all. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that this might be a little different than the way you've done literacy for all in the past. It's still writing an essay after reading an article, but let's be real. I'm different. I know this. I do it because I care about you. Okay? Please notice what is the title of this article.
Unblocking children's math.
Unlocking Children's Math Potential. Do y'all not have this?
That's what I said.
Again?
Okay. Anyone not have a copy? Yeah.
Is this just the same one from last year?
Maybe.
I could have sworn Miss Anderson had these.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I guess we did use this one last year. Yep. This is not the one I used in the spring, but I think I did use this one last year. So you should already be familiar. Now, that means you're familiar with the article. You may not be familiar with my prompts. But first things first, read through the article provided, annotating as you read, specifically note what the big ideas are for unlocking children, specifically yours math potential. You are all capable of amazing things, but we might need to change how we think about some ideas. So, first things first, you will have to turn in your annotations when you submit your Literacy for All essay. That's 10 points out of the 60 points associated with Literacy for All. We all clear on that? Personally, before I start reading the article and annotating it, I'm going to read the prompts. Because I'm not asking you to summarize this article. I already know what the article says. I don't need you to summarize it. I want you to respond to it, which means you have to think about the prompts given to you. There are 3 different prompts. Also, sorry, I should start here. Using the front and back of this page, create an outline for the paper that completely addresses the prompts below. Notice how there's a space below each prompt? It's for you to write or jot down ideas, create a little bit of an outline. Note, this is not a 5-paragraph essay. 5-paragraph essays are what you do in elementary school and middle school to first teach you how to write. We are beyond that, we're in high school, okay? I'm not giving a minimum page length. You need to answer each prompt thoroughly, whether that prompt requires 1 paragraph or multiple paragraphs, okay? A paragraph should have a complete idea addressing one full thing. So you will be submitting this outline or these notes to show that you planned your writing. You do need a clear thesis. I'm not giving you a thesis. This is your essay. You are also high school students, juniors and seniors. I'm not going to baby you by telling you this is what your thesis should be. In general, a thesis needs to have a statement of purpose. Why are you writing this? Other than just, my teacher told me I had to. Then you need a clear indication of where the paper is going, right? A thesis tells the reader what you're going to be writing about. Now, here's the first prompt. Reflect upon what you have read. In the past, right, so one of the big things that goes into this article throughout it is about, what does the first little section say? All students can achieve at high levels. Now, it doesn't just talk about that in the first section, it talks about it throughout, but the first question is, have you truly believed that you can achieve at a high level? Well, don't just tell me yes. You make a claim, you need what with that claim? Evidence, right? But then also, thinking about the article, what does it actually mean to achieve at a high level? The article talks about this. Base this information on information from the article. What can you do to achieve at higher levels moving forward? Reflect upon what you can do. It doesn't matter whether you're already making A or whether you're making an F. You can always improve your level of achievement. And then even also writing about what do you need me to do to support you in achieving at higher levels. Prompt 2, your mindset can play a huge role in your learning. What are the different types of mindsets that you can have about your abilities? And what do those mindsets mean? I'll go ahead and tell you right here and right now, the mindsets I'm referring to, they're called fixed mindsets and growth mindsets. That's it. I don't care if you can repeat those words, I care if you understand what they mean, right? So what do those mindsets actually mean? And which mindset can be more productive for your learning? Because it doesn't matter what mindset you currently have, you can work against it if it's not the most productive, but you need to know what that mindset is. And please note that you can have different mindsets about different abilities. Some people may have a super growth-oriented mindset when it comes to athletics, but when it comes to math, they have a very fixed mindset. Or they may have a super growth mindset when it comes to math, but when it comes to history, they have a fixed mindset. Again, you need to know what those terms mean, and also think about which is more productive and what can you do to improve that. This idea of a learning subject versus a performance subject can really change the way that you understand mathematics and of learning in general. So that's a pretty hefty prompt, but it's important. All those ideas go together. And then prompt 3 is a little bit more personal. It does tie into the 5th part of the article, but be honest with me and with yourself. Do you believe that I think you can achieve at high levels? The 5th section of this article speaks to the message of a teacher being extremely important to your level of success. It's true. If I think you're stupid and I don't think you're capable of succeeding at high levels, are you ever going to have a chance to succeed at high levels? No. So the question is, do you think I actually believe that? And notice the next part of this is, I don't want you to just say, hey, Mr. Kinney, yes, I believe it. Legitimately, if you do believe I think this, then what do I do to help you believe that? Right? I need to know so I can keep doing those things. If you do not believe I think you can achieve at high levels, I need to be aware of that. Then tell me, what am I doing to hurt your ability to learn so I can fix this issue? Overall, how can I motivate you and other students better to work harder, learn better, and achieve at higher levels of success? So, I am very specific in what I'm looking for, right? I want you to actually think about these things because I think it can help you become a better student and learn math better. I think it can help me become a better teacher. So I want you to reflect upon these things. So, tossing it out to y'all, what do you think you need to do in order to make sure that you're answering these prompts well and efficiently? Besides not falling asleep or trying to fall asleep. Oh, okay. What can we do to make it easier to answer these prompts well as we read through the article?
Read them.
Okay, so we first got to read the article, right? What else should we do?
Annotate.
Okay, so you annotate. But don't just underline crap or box things. Like, those annotations need to be intentional. I would write notes to myself. Like, maybe this could address prompt 1. Maybe I use 3 different highlighters, and I use one highlighter for stuff that could answer prompt 1, another highlighter that could answer ideas from prompt 2. That can work. What else could you do? Just giving you different ideas of how you can approach this.
Like research.
Okay, you can look things up if you want to. You don't have to do that, but I think that would definitely give you better evidence, right? Any claim I'm asking you to make, I do want evidence. I'm not saying you have to do this, but one thing you could do is prompt 1, 2, and 3 are pretty different, right? You could read prompt 1 and then read through the article just focusing on prompt 1. And note to yourself stuff on the paper and on the article about just prompt 1. Read prompt 2 and then read just the article, thinking about prompt 2. I will say that the different prompts go with different sections of the article primarily.
Which section go which?
How many paragraphs?
If you read the headers for each section, it'll be pretty obvious. Because, like, what does section 1 say? All students can achieve at high levels. What prompt do you think that might go with?
Prompt 1.
Oh. Now, please hear me on this, KT. There will be other details throughout the article that address prompt 1, so you may want to add more to prompt 1, but that's something to pay attention to. What does section 2 talk about? On the next page.
Oh, okay.
Well, but section 2 in the article,
Ideas about their ability to determine and learn and calculate the math achievement.
so your ideas about their ability, could that tie into the idea of mindsets and how you think about your abilities? Okay, so pay attention to those kinds of things. Jakeem, you asked how many paragraphs?
Yes.
What did I already say?
Paragraph per point.
It doesn't matter.
I didn't say it doesn't matter, I said it's not a 5-paragraph essay. I said you need to answer each prompt thoroughly, whether that one prompt requires 1 paragraph or,
What amount of paragraphs we gonna be reading in this article?
oh, I mean, it's the whole thing that you have. Yes, ma'am.
What was the 2 bars that you said again? I forgot. It was one of them was fixed.
And growth.
It's in the article.
Oh, it is?
Yeah,
Great.
yep, it's in the article. Alright, you have the time to work within your small groups. Read through the article. Let me know if there's questions about any concepts that Joe Bowler, she's the author, talks about. Anything I need to clarify.
Do we have to
Say again.
do we have to use quotes?
Now, you need to reference ideas, and I know the article pretty well, so you need to reference the article.
You should probably read those.
Are you in elementary school? Huh?
There's always one.
Yeah,
So we choose one quote, or we have to answer
all 3 of them.
It's not choosing from. How many days we can do this? Like
The prompts go with different parts of the article.
so it's like 3 days. Yes.
Not really, it's still one essay. The prompts break it up looking at the different sections of the article, so you can focus on certain questions within that section of the article. Remember, I just said that prompt 1, reflect upon what you have read in the past. Have you truly believed that you can achieve at high levels? What does section 1 talk about? All students can achieve at high levels, right? So prompt 1 goes to that first section. And so overall, here's the thing, there is one overall prompt, and I should say this. Unlocking your math potential. That's what the overall idea is. And then the prompts are going to walk you through thinking about what can unlock your math potential. Does that make sense? I just broke it down into the 3 things I want you to think about to unlock your math potential. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please note, and I guess I should make this more clear, the whole idea is that I want you to think about how you can unlock your math potential. That's the overall idea of this essay. How can you unlock your math potential? The 3 prompts are to help you start thinking about that as you read through the article. Yes, ma'am?
Do I have to use quotes?
You do not have to use quotes. I don't care if you can regurgitate. I care if you can think about it.
Can I give it to you typed?
Oh, please give it to me typed. If you give it to me typed,
Can I get my
whoo-wee,
When is it due?
Wednesday.
Okay.
great?
Yeah.
No, you're not. Y'all, I need y'all to understand, this is a more extensive essay and expectation than what you're used to in the past. If I give you 3 days, or if I give you till Wednesday, it's because you need it. And I'm waiting till Wednesday also because y'all's test is on Monday. Mhm.
I don't read all loud.
I typed that one too.
Well, these are completely new prompts.
Oh, you
I don't
read?
care about that.
Where
Huh?
you went?
Apparently he went to field day.
For what?
Same.
We can just go to field day.
No. Well, they're helping the middle.